Okay then.
All right. I
Okay.
think I think I'm good now. Joe, I appreciate you uh
Okay.
jumping in this meeting here.
Oh, you want me to? I'm trying to. I can't see you or anything. Wait a minute. It's sort of trying to come in now.
I know my
Uh, let's see. Let's
thing is
let's go to. Here we go. Here we
there
go.
we go.
Start video. Okay. You good?
I can't see you, but
Oh wait
I
wait
can
wait 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 wait. How about now?
there we go.
Okay. Great. Great.
We got it now. Again,
Beautiful.
I appreciate your time today, Joe. I really do
No
appreciate it.
problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, um, it seemed that you've kept yourself busy over this past year with COVID and everything. With this new album coming out, how has this past year and a half or so gone for you?
Sort of like everybody else. But most musicians, we were, I would say, uh, sort of the last, I don't like to say industry, but the last groupings that were able to start opening up. And as you can see, everything's been pushed back and rescheduled, canceled, rescheduled, recanceled. So it's been a lot of that. So, but
Right.
all that being said, I'm glad to have a new record that's being released, and I'm glad to be, getting a few gigs coming in, you know.
Sure, absolutely.
hmm
Um, so listening to this album, I got the opportunity to listen to it over this past weekend. What an eclectic mix of songs that you have. You range from traditional blues to more rock and blues, to even a Zydeco flavored tune. That mix is really awesome. What made you decide to go in that direction this time to have such an eclectic mix?
Well, this is my 30th CD since 30th album since 1985. Since I started back playing blues, I quit in 75 to 85. I play nothing but gospel music. But so to answer your question, uh, would I figure I'd do something different this time? I asked a lot of my friends, a lot of musicians that I play with, a lot of people I've been in record labels for, a lot of producers that I would work with, my wife, my kids, my grandkids. What do you hear me doing? And the majority said, well, we like what you do. We've liked a lot of the things, chances that you take in musically. Well, but one person said, well, I really like your version of what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding. Why did you do that? And I said, well, I did it because my friend Nick Lowe asked me to do it on a compilation. He asked me to sing. Well, why did you do Heart of Stone on one of those compilation records that you guys did? I said because I like that. Well, why did you do it sort of like a slow Otis Redding song? I said because I felt like the Stones and Otis Redding were sort of connected. He had hits with their songs, they had hits with his songs. And so the gist of it was a lot of people, you know, can you give us a mixture of some of the things that you do? When you mix other stuff up and some of your own stuff, some of the older stuff you've done and stuff. And so that was the primary reasoning for doing Eclectic Electric.
So, well, again, I think it's quite awesome. One
Thank
of
you.
my favorite songs on the record is Uptown Girl Blues. Now, I love that blues shuffle that you have going on that song.
Yeah.
And actually it was a song that you co-wrote. How did that song come about?
Well, that song, me and Joe Russo, my songwriting partner, we had written, we had done some version of some of this, of this here, but we never were 100%, feeling really, really cool about it. We didn't think we captured the groove. And so when Lenny Bradford, John Bradford, bass player on it, and me and him were playing, and we at sound checks we're doing things, and then we caught a hold of a groove, and I said, well, this would be the perfect groove for Uptown Girl Blues. And so that's how that sort of mixture came together.
Okay, very good. Um, Now on Regal Blues, you feature BB King Blues, the BB King Blues Band, and Doyle Brownhall II on guitar. Were you in the studio when you recorded that, or was it one of those piecemeal
Well,
things?
that one was recorded. I sent them the song. They liked it. They recorded their version of it. Okay. And then they said, well, Joe, can you sing on our version of it? I said, well, you guys got a singer. You got two singers. They said, no, we want you to sing on it. I said, okay, cool. I said, but I've never really done it the way I want to do it. So at some point I'm going to let it out, but I won't, I'll have my own version. So to answer your question, it's sort of, they laid their version down and then I had to come over and sing it because that was during the pandemic, because when they did it and their record came out and it was on a version of theirs too, but not with Baby Doyle. Baby Doyle's there on my version, right. And we played together somewhere. I forgot where we played at. And I asked them, I said, well, would you play on this? And, he said, yeah. And then I love him for it because I've known him since he was about 15 or 14. Oh, wow. Okay. So I've known Baby Doyle a long time. Gotcha. He's a great guitar player.
Sure. Now, have you played with BB King's blues band in the past?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good.
I played with them when they were with BB, and I played with them when BB was not with us, unfortunately.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Now, you also recorded two songs that have been sung by Don Henley, Hotel California, of course, and then All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Was that a conscious choice to put two Don Henley songs on there, or?
Actually, no. The three songs that were really songs that people heard me doing that I didn't, I had, they weren't on my radar, so to speak. I've played them a little bit of these songs, but they weren't on my radar for me to do. One was Werewolves of London, because I played that with a friend of mine on a lot of occasions. But when I was asked to do it, I changed it totally around. We just made it super duper funky, as funky as we could get it. And then, just to show people that, that I know where that song comes from. I got my friend who was one of the songwriters to play on the song. I got Waddy Wattell to play on it with me.
Right.
So that's Waddy playing the slide, and that's me playing the, us doing the funkier thing. So that worked out great. And so I don't mind doing songs by other people, but I like to, in a perfect world, have some sort of connection, if I can, to the artist or something. And with Werewolves, that worked out fine. It was the same with All She Wants to Do Is Dance, because Danny Kochmore is a friend of mine. He's in the same band with Waddy, the immediate family. He was going to play on this song, but they got busy. The immediate family, their group got busy. They're doing a movie about them, a documentary about them. So I understand. I know how stuff goes, but Danny's like, yeah, Joe, knock it out, man. The only outlier was Hotel California, which that was a situation where I wanted to take a song that was an iconic song that had nothing to do with the blues industry, nothing to do with anything other than being a great song. And I wanted to turn it up on its head. And so I was able to sort of reggae, bluesy, funky type of thing that we did with it. And it just so happened that Henley's the lead singer on both songs. But then again, I like the way he sings, because his singing is not so much pop. If you listen to Don Henley sing, it's really root stuff. Even when they were doing all that, his high notes and all that comes out of soul music, really. I mean, he's got that thing like Levon Helm, that soulful thing that you don't hear with a lot of quote unquote pop singers. They try, I like Adele trying, but to me, Levon is guys like Levon and Michael McDonald. I mean, Don Henley, they just naturally, that's what they do. They didn't go and listen to a record and say, that's what I'm going to do. That's the stuff they listen to. That's what they do, and if you get those guys singing, the Star Spangled Banner, you're going to get Michael McDonald saying, oh, say, can you see? You ain't going to ever understand half of it, but it's still going to feel good. You know what I mean?
That's right. He is who he is, right? It can't change.
Yeah, he is who he is. You can't take it out of him. That's why those three. And the other outlier was Make No Mistake, which is Spencer Guino's song, which Waddy played on this also.
Mhm.
But I did ask. And when I asked Keith, I said, man, I'm gonna do this song, man. And as it is with Keith always, or anybody like him in that group, Joe, just make it your own, and so that was the end of that story.
Right. And that's a great song too. I mean, not a lot of people know that song, but I know the Expensive Winos too. So it's like, I saw that was on there too. I was like, man, that's a great tune to cover.
Beautiful song. Beautiful.
Absolutely. And then of course you pay your respects to Muddy Waters by doing Two Trains Running. Out of all the Muddy Waters songs, how did that one come about?
Well, I've done a lot of Muddy. I did some Muddy Water songs on compilations, and with other people. I did a song called "Don't Go No Further." I did on the Blues Brothers' last album. I was a guest of their album, and so I've always liked Muddy, but I'm very aware that certain songs are totally unique to Muddy Waters, and certain songs are, for better or for worse, terminology, they've just been done to death.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do I Got My Mojo Working. It's
Right.
been done to death. I'm not gonna do Just Want to Make Love to You. I mean, it's been done to death in 90 million different ways. So I like to do something. And Two Trains Running is really not even a song. There's no such song as Two Trains Running. The name of the song is Still a Fool. But Muddy's when he's playing, the what he's saying is all about Two Trains Running when you hear the track on The Best of Muddy Waters. So it's sort of like, yeah, I always, everybody that hears that song, wow, man, in any version of that song, from the Blues Project doing it in the 60s to me doing it now, it's always been just such a deep song. When you hear Muddy Waters and playing it, and Lil Walter playing guitar with him on that song, and what have you. It's it reminds me when I was a kid and my dad's old friends coming over, to my dad at his house on a Saturday and Sunday when they had a day off, and them rolling their pants legs up, 3 or 4 old guys from Mississippi, and playing that style of music. And I always looked at them and wondered, is some kind of magic? I mean, how do you do that? How do you really get to that point? And it's just it seems simple. And I think everybody that's tried to play blues or anything like it, it seems simple. But when you get to songs that with that much meaning and that and that depth to the content in the song, because it meant something. It
Right.
just was not, one verse, lost my baby, 900 guitar solos, then the out verse, I found my baby. It ain't one. In fact, a lot of those old guys, if you listen to all of that stuff, from Muddy Waters to Howlin' Wolf to B.B. King to Robert Johnson, there were no 18-bar guitar solos.
Right.
There weren't zero, because it was all about the song, and that carried over into younger people who got the blues and rock and roll, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, people like that. You don't hear no 9/20 passes on a guitar. You just don't hear. You can go see the Stones now. Very rarely you're going to hear that. You're going to hear songs, and the guitar is a vehicle to accentuate the song. It's not the other way around. So nowadays it's a little bit different. So I hope people have the patience to know that there's not a big guitar solo in that song. That's not the way he did it. There's no guitar solo when Muddy did it. But I put just a little bit of slide, just to sing it, playing the vocal lead, playing the line at the vocal sing, and it felt good. So I hope people like it.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Do you happen to have a favorite song on the new record?
Nah, I couldn't say that. I have a more autobiographical song on the record, which is Gone and Alone, which is like more autobiographical. And when I lived in France, I was had some African musicians played on that track, and I kept that track until the right time to release it. I have African musicians, French musicians, and then I came home, American musicians playing on that track, and friends of mine, 2 of the guys that are instrumental on that track died here. Gino Blacknell, who's on that track, and he's also on a song called Bad Betty, which is on that record. Gino died, and Gino also played accordion on Wine on this track. So he could play anything. He's a producer. We'd sit in the studio and in his studio, and we'd come up with all kind of stuff. Well, he left us last year, and the flugelhorn, not the flugelhorn, the cornet that's played on Gone and Alone, the obligatos, the fills and stuff. That was by a friend of mine called Picasso, and he also passed away. So this is sort of like, something that's sort of special to them.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I say, I think it's a great album. Just the mix, the covers, your original songs, it all flows together really well. So the big question is, you mentioned you have a couple of dates. Do you have any plans to go on tour, maybe at the end of this year or beginning of next year?
Well, I'm doing a small. I just finished 7 dates opening up for George Thorogood here on the East Coast. Okay. I did that, and so we're doing some stuff now. We're doing a video next Wednesday, and we're doing a record release party at the Cutting Room next Friday on the 15th of October in New York City, the Cutting Room. And I got a couple other little gigs coming after that, the Town Crier here in Beacon, New York on the 23rd. And then I started a little tour, I think November 12th, we're playing down by Pittsburgh, and then we're playing Cleveland the next day. And then we're going to Minneapolis, a beautiful place, and Milwaukee, Chicago, and parts of Michigan. So you can look on my website, joelewiswalker.com, and it has all the dates that we're playing.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Cleveland based, so I didn't see that date coming up. So I think the last time you played, you were at Music Box. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm playing there in, I think, November the 13th or 14th or something like that.
Well, so I'll check it out. Absolutely, man. Sure. I'd love to come see. I saw you a few years ago. It's been a while, but I'd love to come and check you out again for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. So speaking of the blues, like, obviously this is what you do, but it seems that there is kind of a resurgence with some younger people playing the blues, at least bringing it to the forefront with, yourself, who's been around for a long time, Joe Bonamassa, who also has been around for a decade or so. But this I don't know if you're aware of that, Chris Stone, Kingfish.
Yeah, I know.
Young blues player. So I think he's like 22. So, that blues tradition is definitely still alive and well.
Yes. Oh, for sure. And he's doing pretty good. And, there are, I consider certain guys young, because I used to see them come in clubs and they were young people. Gary Clark Jr., Doyle Bramhall, Bonamassa was a young guy when I first met him. 20 some odd years ago. And then they have a lot of people that aren't on the big radar, like Selwyn Birchwood and Vanessa Collier, great sax player, singer. And so you have a lot of young men and women that are blues based, and that really, they embrace the blues. They tell people about the blues, but they're not your 12 bar, a blues band. So it is I think it's good in the sense that it's showing the diversity of the blues. Number one, it's showing the longevity and how the blues crosses all kind of borders, be it racial, financial, sex, regardless with sex, countries. I mean, the more different countries I go in now, I mean, when I was in China, December of 2019, and actually when this virus was starting to break out, and we were playing the Blue Note Club, and I had been there about a year and a half before, but not in this time. I went to Beijing again this time, but this time I also went to Shanghai, and we caught the train. And make a long story short, the first time I went, they brought literally a 14-year-old kid whose village saved up all the money that the village could to send this kid to music school. right? And so the kid comes down, they bring him down to the Blue Note. And so I had him as a guest come and sit in on the song, and we spent part of the day together. And he was just extremely talented. But he wants to play blues. He wants to tap into that. And he sees what you and me seeing it. They see the same thing over there. They see young people playing music, and that's one thing that usually the governments don't totally ixnay. They don't totally, cut off, although they want to be in control of the content, what's played. So you're not going to hear any political songs in China, but you will hear some other kind of songs. So I'm glad that a lot of young people are doing blues-based and roots-based material and doing it their way. Because let's just admit, how many times can you hear somebody repeat Sweet Home Chicago? And then you're gonna want to hear, okay, now, oh great, man, you did a good version of that. Now what you got?
Right.
And so up under that, and any group that started off, as a 12 bar blues or bar band, usually they'll branch off into some original stuff. And there's the whole question of, why I forgot who it was, said a Keith or somebody, why am I going to have a guitar and not write nothing original? Nothing original. I might as well. I'm sitting around, I might as well come up with something,
For sure.
So that's the way I look at it. Mm-hmm.
All right. That's very good. Well, again, thank you so much for your time today. I wish you nothing but success on your new album. And, when you safe travels on the road, when you come to Cleveland, I definitely want to check you out and see what you have to offer live.
Well, we'll be there in about a month.
All right. Sounds good. All right, man. Well, I will get the word out about the album, and, I'll let all our readers know that it's coming out in November, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Very good. All right.
Sure appreciate everything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. You
Okay.
take care.
Cheers.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.